guys, back again. Same hair, same outfit as yesterday. Technically today, I'm doing two videos in one. So you will see this the following day. But my husband is home, my daughter's taking a great nap, and I thought, gosh, I better just get these in while I can. My supplies are starting to die out. My flowers are getting kind of old. So I better kind of get through these the best I can before the supplies or naps run out. So I'm going to make a flower crown for my daughter's birthday. Now, normally I would have all sorts of fun bits and berries and all sorts of stuff. Well, guess what? We don't have that today. I even looked outside, not a lot to choose from in my yard. So we're going to use our Strontia again. This stuff is holding up like a champ. Then we've got our greenery. So this is going to be a really, really simple floral crown. And there's so many different ways you can do floral crowns. It depends on who you're making it for too, and kind of what your style you're going for, if it's an all the way around, if it's just one piece. So it kind of depends on what you're doing, but today I'm going to do it all the way around, and I'm going to show you, basically this is how I originally learned how to do it. I do it many different ways now, so this is how I originally learned, and I think it'll be a really good start for you guys. I like to use wire or kind of a bark covered wire. I think that makes a really fun base too. But we're going to use this thick wire today. It's pretty sturdy. And we need some floral tape. Now this is really stretchy. So this stretches as you use it. If you've never used it before, the tip I first got is pre-stretch it before you use it. It kind of sticks to itself. It's not sticky to the touch, but it really needs to be worked and played with. And you kind of got to stretch it and pull it and hold it down while you're using it. So the first person who ever taught me how to use this was like, hey, here's a little tip. Stretch it before you use it. It might help you. It might not. This wire I already measured kind of perfectly fits my daughter's head. So what I'm going to pre-do, and you don't have to do this, but I think it will sort of help as we're taping our flowers on as we go. I'm going to pre-tape my wire. And it seems a little crazy. You kind of just put it on, pinch at the top, and start twirling down. I like to pull up with the wire and twist, and then hold in this hand so my tape hand is just kind of set in place. This way I can get a really good pinch on the tape and it sticks to itself. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this down, covering my whole wire with the tape. All right. Now I'm going to kind of attach the ends to itself today, so it's just one crown, but you could put little loops in the end and attach some ribbon if you're not sure of the child's head, or person's head, depending on who you're making it for. Then you can kind of tie the ribbon to fit and adjust. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut some of our flowers, depending on if you want this really, really tight to the crown itself, or if you want it a little more airy, is the length you're going to leave yourself. If you want it really tight, when we tape it on, we're going to tape it kind of together like that. If you want it more airy, we're going to tape it down here and let those pieces shine. I'm going to go, I think, a little more airy for now until I change my mind while I'm making it. So I'm going to pre-cut all my pieces. That just makes it a little easier when you're going to assemble, because you're not setting it down, cutting, setting it down, cutting. So I like that. I think it's a little easier for me, at least. Takes up less time as you're going. Now here we go again with our ruscus. This is all we have. This isn't actually typically a greenery I would use for this. I like something that's a little more flexible. This always isn't the most flexible. And I like something with a little bit smaller leaf on it. Again, looked outside, nothing. So we're going to kind of do the same. We're going to cut some of our pieces. And I'm going to show you this, and there'll be parts where I end up just taping on a single leaf versus a whole little stem. So I'm going to kind of pre-cut both here, or rip it off. It doesn't doesn't really matter. I'm going to pre-cut a bunch of both, so I have a little stockpile of stuff to pull from, and I'll just make the whole process a little faster. Okay, now all my stuff is cut. I've got my wire pre-taped. I'm ready to roll. Basically what we're going to do, and I think I'm going to start out with just a little touch of greenery. And you'll have to play around a little bit and see what you're liking and what's working for you. I'm going to leave a little bit of this wire at the end so I have a place to tape my pieces together or hook them together. And then when we put that greenery down, it'll cover our workings. So, same thing. Let's see if I can get it on camera here. You're going to take your piece and you're going to pinch your tape around. And I always like to move the hand that's not holding the tape. That's just a personal thing. That's sort of how I learned and what stuck with me. Oh, look, it's super easy. Got our little piece taped on. I'm going to basically go through and layer my pieces. You want to make sure you're kind of on the same side. So I'm going to go through and just start layering my flowers in greenery. So I'm going to take that whole piece, sort of pinching it together. You're going to want to tape it down. Now this is where smaller greenery comes in handy because you'll be able to cover your tape workings a little bit better. But what did I say the other day? Quarantiners can't be choosers. That's just life right now. Okay, see? So easy, right guys? We're just going to keep going. Now, periodically, I'm going to sort of tape in a leaf, and I'm going to do mine a little bit on the back side, and that'll just help because I don't have that smaller greenery. That will help cover my workings a little bit. So I'm going to put it on the back side of what I'm doing. Now you can do this with all sorts of flowers. I prefer smaller blooms, especially for a little girl, because it's a little daintier on the head. But you can do larger blooms. They just don't always bend as easy to one another. I wish I had a bunch of stuff to show you guys, but like I said, this is basics. We're gonna go simple today, and that's okay. I'm just gonna keep repeating this process of greenery and floral. I'm going to keep in mind to not put too much greenery where I'm covering my flowers. So you might want to kind of pick through your greenery and which pieces you actually want to use. And we're just going to keep on layering. Okay, so I'm partially the way done. I'm going to throw a little fun fact to you before I cut out and skip to the end. You guys don't need to see me tape the whole thing on. We're just repeating that process. Once we are all done, we're going to kind of form this to the head. Cute, right? And here's where you'll start to see some of your inner workings. Now you can go back and use the glue from the corsage tutorial and tuck in things and glue those in to cover those workings. Sometimes I do a full crown out of just gluing pieces in. Like I said in the beginning, there's tons of different ways you can do it, but that's just a little tidbit. I'm going to go ahead and keep repeating this pattern all the way till the end, and then I'll cut back. Okay guys, I got to the end and I started to bend it in that little crown shape. I'm going to show you how I did these little hooks. If you can see, that's how we're going to kind of hook it together, and we're going to clamp it down and then kind of go back and adjust any of our flowers or greenery necessary. This is just a little extra piece of wire I had. Now, needle nose pliers would probably be the best, but I happen to have wire cutters here, and these sort of work just fine. So you should kind of just pinch the end and loop it around, and I made one side a little more tight than the other, so just make a little loop. On the other side, just start with a hook more so it's a little more open. There we go. And you're going to hook them together. You're going to want to pinch it down really tight so there's no like sharp edges and it's not digging into your head. But that's how we're going to hook them together today. So I sort of already pre-did all of that on mine. This is what the base of my little flower crown looks like. I'm going to sort of go back through and tape over little things so they don't pinch her. And then I'm going to go back through and glue in any of my little extra bits here to cover some of my working, just because I don't like to see the tape. If it doesn't bother you, again, this is for you. You do what you want, but I don't like to see some of the tape. So I'm going to go back through and glue that in, and I'll show you the finished product. All right, all done. I just glued a few little pieces up top just to cover my workings, and I cannot wait to see this on Quinn's head for her birthday. Cute, right? Obviously my head's way too big, but cute. I can't wait. So this was just, again, little quick basics. If you're having a party, you know, just something fun, maybe a kid's birthday, maybe it's a sweet 16. I don't know. Have fun with it. Do what feels right to you. Do what works with the flowers you have. If they're bigger, go for it. Give it a try. Thank you guys for tuning in again. This little series has been so much fun to make, and I have just a few more if my supplies hold out. Tomorrow will be table greenery garland again with that ruscus, but we're gonna make it work. So that'll be fun, greenery garland. And then coming up, if I have enough stuff left, I'm gonna show you how to put some flowers on a cake. So I can't wait, and hopefully stay tuned. Bye.